Hi, and welcome to Traveling Marlins. I'm Gail.
And I'm Mark.
And we have been traveling since 1994. We've had 2 Airstreams, a fifth wheel, and now we have this 1999 Prevost bus.
And this week we're going to be taking you up to the Glenwood Springs Adventure Park, where they have some rides, roller coaster, a little thing that shoots you out over the canyon or swings you out over the canyon. And we went up and went through 2 different sets of caverns up there. The Fairy Caverns and the Kings Row Caverns.
Yeah.
So it's something, if you're in the area, it's something pretty neat to go do. So that's what we'll take you up and show you today.
Yep. And I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you to subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. And if you want notifications, I suggest changing it to the black bell so you'll get everything. And if you don't want notifications, that's fine. Just put it to none.
I'm out here being attacked by hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds. I have a hummingbird feeder, and if you could hear that chirping, that's them. They're fighting over the nectar.
So, okay, we'll take you up to the caverns and see you in a little bit.
Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park's website shares this story. How exactly did Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park end up at the top of Iron Mountain? Well, follow the path of curiosity long enough, as Steve and Jean Beckley did, and you might find yourself in some interesting and unexpected places. What started out as a spelunking hobby in college became a quest to explore the private and nearly forgotten Fairy Caves, the closed to the public Colorado cave, fiercely protected by its then owner, Pete Preble. Inspired by photos Steve saw in caving books, he began writing Mr. Pebble in 1982 in the hopes of gaining access to the caves, but almost all his letters came back unopened, stamped "Return to Sender." Disappointed but not deterred, Steve kept up the writing campaign. After a decade, Mr. Preble relented and in 1992 granted Steve permission to explore the caves. The Beckleys acquired the property from Preble in 1998. On Memorial Day weekend a year later, 500 visitors showed up for a tour of the newly renamed Glenwood Caverns. By 2003, the Little Cave Tour operation was accommodating 100,000 visitors a year. To transport the number of guests to the mountaintop cave entrance, the Beckleys installed a gondola and named it the Iron Mountain Tramway. Though interest in the caves was booming, the wait for the tour was breaching 3 hours, so the Beckleys started putting in rides to give people something to do while they were waiting for the caves. The idea took off and launched the business in a new and unexpected direction, which is the planning of a mountaintop theme park with a Western history slant officially got underway. The first rides were installed in 2005. Since then, a slew of thrill rides and attractions have been added to the Colorado theme park. The older cave is the historic Fairy Cave. It was a thriving tourist destination in the 1890s thanks to Charles W. Darrow, a pioneering Glenwood Springs attorney. Darrow and his family homesteaded at the top of Iron Mountain, which included the entrance to the cave. They sealed this to preserve the cave. Look at the depth of this. Darrow opened Fairy Caves to visitors in 1895, but visitors could only get to the caves by walking up a trail, by riding a horse, or by being transported in style in a horse-drawn carriage. Thank goodness we now travel that long way in the gondola that you saw earlier.
you guys, in case you missed it outside, my name is Chloe, and I'll be your friendly neighborhood cave tour guide today. A couple of things really fast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me at all during my tour, please do not hesitate to ask them or bring them up to my attention, because believe it or not, I actually like to talk. Welcome to 1895.
Oh, my word. Well, you can't see the cave.
No, you can't. I can't even see your face.
Wow. What good was that?
This is what we're working with.
They just had one or they had lots of them?
See, like, that's the question I get pretty frequently. In my head, I feel like they each had their own.
Yeah.
So if you're going in with like a group of 10, then like that's different. But if you were just wandering through by yourself,
Yeah.
this is what you've got.
The
light also changes as the candle melts.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily get dimmer. It actually gets brighter before it gets dimmer,
Oh.
which is pretty interesting. But yeah, not great. The tunnel back there, non-existent. The tunnel we just were through, non-existent. Depth perception, gone. This isn't great. Gonna be completely honest. Could be better.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. So the crazy thing, you guys, is that 1895, Darrow brought one of his youngest daughters down into the cave. And as she was wandering through the passages, Darrow handed her lantern, lit the candle for her, and she was wandering through behind him. And she eventually turned around and she said, "Well, Papa, look. It looks like fairies dancing on the ceiling."
Where?
And so from that day on, we were no longer the Ute Caverns. We became the Fairy Caves. And while we're traditionalists, we decided to keep the name. You can kind of see it better this way.
Oh, that's pretty.
With special permission from the Darrow family, caving groups continued exploring and mapping the extensive cavern. Over the years, new discoveries were made. The property remained in Darrow's family until 1961, when Peter Preble and his partners bought it.
Yeah. Here's a hole down there. That's way down there. Don't touch, don't touch. I know.
Alright,
so
you guys.
pretty.
Oh, I know. This is my favorite room in the caves.
Yes, I love that. That's pretty.
Welcome to Willy Wonka's Chocolate River.
Look at that. Willy Wonka's Chocolate River.
Since 1999, Glenwood Caverns has been welcoming visitors to see the spectacular natural wonders hidden inside Iron Mountain. We recommend getting a gondola cave package. This package includes tours for both caves, the historic Fairy Cave and King's Row. Each cave is different, and each tour takes approximately 90 minutes, and they've scheduled the tours in such a way that gives you plenty of time to leisurely walk to the other cave entrance just in time for it to start. Visitors enter King's Row via an airlock tunnel and emerge into an enormous cave room, so big it is named the Barn.
Air rushes in, water from above, drips through limestone, picks up calcite, the mineral, and it gets deposited at that 1 cubic inch per 1,000 years. So life begins. Life in a cave is water because the calcite is constant, it's always there. And we have a lot of that here, especially at the bottom of King's Row Room. Now, art imitates life. You're going to see that the cave imitates life too. You'll see shapes and formations throughout that will amaze you. Let's start out with some quick science. On this wall back here, where my laser pointer is, that's limonite. That's microbial waste. When this was underwater, we had microbes eating away at the rock. In this case, they were eating iron. And that's the doo-doo right there, limonite. Come over here, some more microbial waste, some sulfites, a little bit of iron, kind of a medium brown. And up here, a huge colony, 1 million years probably of, going to the bathroom right here, mostly sulfites, microbial waste again. And back over here on the left, the cave is calcium carbonate calcite in its purest form. It's white. When it mixes with manganese, you get aragonite. You get these crystals. They're very rare. And the fingers always point down breeze. So yes, we do have an airflow up here, and it runs from this direction. The pitch determines what kind of formation you get. Of course, the drip from straight up is the stalactite, stalagmite. Flowstone is on a wall usually. Yeah. You get some moon milk, it's called. Our 5th grader, a 10-year-old young boy with mom and dad. It was a Saturday. He was hungry. Should have had 2 Pop-Tarts for breakfast. He only had 1. Reason why I know that? He thought this formation over my right shoulder here looked like a Cheeto. What? And guess what? It does. Since that young man rules this cave now for the day and now probably forever, we call this Cheeto now, we call this Cheeto platform. So our next stop, I think, will be the sand pile or the limestone pile. Now, if you look over your shoulders or if you follow me here, I'm going to put my laser pointer here on jam crack area. Down below this platform here, you'll see it emblazoned in red. That is jam crack. That's where those boys came out, all 3 of them, in 1960. The passageway is 30 feet. This is all limestone, vertical. You'll see it from a better angle in a minute. The passageway that was tight was beyond that, right behind there. They dropped out at the bottom. Now, when you're going vertical, tight isn't a bad thing. They established the fact they could get through it, which is great. You don't fall to your death. You don't have to rope up as much. Hard on the shoulders, but it's much better. So I think what we'll do, we will get aggressive here. And if you'll follow me down, we're going to go down on the right. And our next stop is going to be this platform. And then beyond that, once you look at Jam Crack, you can come down all the way to King's Row Room. Follow me down there.
At the lower end of the 200-foot-long room, cavers drop through that short, tight pit into an exquisitely decorated room, which they named King's Row because the formations reminded them of chess pieces.
Limestone in the passageway, and when you finish that, follow me down to King's Row Room.
Preble had hoped to open the caves to the public, but like his predecessor, his plans didn't come true. Having seen its treasures firsthand, Preble was fiercely protective of the caves. After a decade of getting to know one another and building trust, Preble eventually sold the caves to its current owner, Steve and Jean Beckley, who succeeded in opening the caves to the public, a dream shared by Doro, Preble, and the Beckleys.
We did it. We saw 2 caves. The King's Room? Castle? What was it?
Canyon or King's?
King's, oh gosh.
Must have been real
Hang on, we need to be together.
We had a moment there.
A senior moment. Sorry about that.
I still don't know the name of it.
The King's Room. The King, that's not right. The King's something.
King's Cavern.
King's Cavern, sure, that's it. We'll put it in the descriptions. And then we saw the Fairy Cave, right? That was the other one. Which one do you like better?
Probably the second one, King's Cavern, is probably better.
I think I did too. But both of them, I mean, when you get your ticket, you can go to both caves, so do that. And they're only 30 to 40 minutes long for each tour. And they had them synchronized or alternated pretty well, so when you go to one cave and get out of that one and walk to the other one, it's pretty well, ready to go, so the next group's ready, you can go in that one. You don't have to wait for like hours. So, and it's nice and cool in there. It's only like 52 degrees year round.
100% humidity.
Yeah.
So you're not.
And I got kissed by the cave several times. Did you?
I don't know, but it says that's bad luck for adults.
Yeah. Hope we make it home. Hope we make it off this mountain then. Listen to the wind.
Yeah, that's what they said. These things may go slower now wind.
Oh, great. Hold your breath.
I'm not too scared. As you always say, you'll be all right.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. It was very good. We recommend it. And we will see you in our next adventure.